All right, let's get to the next game on the slate here. And this one is one that, I'm paying attention to. There's no doubt about that. This is Virginia Tech and Old Dominion. If you know anything about myself watching this show, I am a graduate from Old Dominion. I do pay attention to the Monarchs pretty closely, if you will. I am a monarchist, if you want to call me that. That is fine. No problem at all. Um, Great podcast, by the way, for the ODU fans out there, is the Monarchs podcast. Um, Regardless, they have not looked that great so far this season. They've had a couple decent wins, but they have a heartbreaking loss to Drexel. They are 2-1, and they are going to face a Virginia Tech team who I think is absolutely lights out, especially from that 3-point line. What they did to Delaware State to start off the season was unreal from Grant Bazile. I mean, it was just unreal. His shot just seemed like you just couldn't miss. And then they completely just did it all over again against Lehigh, and then looked pretty good against William and Mary as well. I would love to say this is going to be their toughest test against Old Dominion. I think that it could very well be. I think William and Mary and Old Dominion are probably pretty closely as competitors this year. As much as I would love to say the Monarchs have a chance in this one, it's college basketball. There's always a chance. But if Virginia Tech gets that shooting going again, like we saw in Delaware State and against Lehigh, Old Dominion's in trouble.
And then Virginia Tech's coach Mike Young thinks that this team has a chance to match what they did last year in the ACC tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody thought they were pretty much written off early in the ACC conference play, but they just got better as the year went on. The backcourt, that's right. It's time for that statement, SlasherU fans. Time to say guard play, guard play, guard play.
There it is.
The Hokies backcourt can flat out shoot the ball.
Yes.
Hunter Couture, Sean Padula, they each registered 22 points and were a combined 10 for 17 from 3-point land against William and Mary. Maddox had 2 threes and 14 points. And you mentioned Grant Basile, he transferred in from Wright State, and man, that's great another transfer. Kid. Yeah. And that's an outside touch really from the forward line. So that's a nice little dynamic there for Young and Virginia Tech. I think Virginia Tech is deeper this year. I think they were able to bring in a halfway decent recruiting class. You had Basile through the transfer portal. I think they're a little more athletic off the bench as well. So that's going to bode well in ACC play, wearing players down. But, ODU, I was leaving all the scouting for ODU to you because, I mean, we don't always get a chance to boost. I mean, it's kind of unfair because even though I was accepted at Gonzaga, I never got to attend for family reasons. So it's kind of unfair of me to say I'm an alum of, because I'm not an alum, but I follow Gonzaga. I mean, my college, Point Park University here in Pittsburgh, it's an NAIA school. Now they go to the national tournament pretty regularly, but totally different brand of basketball, NAIA, as opposed to, the NCAA. So I'm glad you got your plug in for ODU. If Virginia Tech comes out firing right away, as I'd imagine that they will, I think they can put a nice, comfortable, cushion between themselves and Old Dominion, and that would allow them to maybe in the second half get some of those younger players into the rotation, give them some more meaningful minutes. I'm not writing off ODU by any means. They played Drexel is always tough. Drexel's one of those teams that are like mega defensive minded, and that can really throw you off your game. So losing that game to Drexel, I don't know, is a terrible thing. It could be a learning experience for them, but I think I'm going Virginia Tech in this game. In fact, I think Virginia Tech can go a long way in this tournament.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. One last part about the Monarchs, I'd be a fool not to bring them up as we're covering them for really the first time this season on this show. Ben Staley coming over from Hampton and then from Xavier as well, 5th-year senior for Old Dominion. He is the leader of this squad. When you do watch this game, you're going to see that. You're not going to need my words for that one. You're going to be able to see that right away. He's leading in scoring, and you can completely tell why. Fantastic. And they do have some pretty good rebounders on that team as well. 2 of them that are pretty close to averaging 10 per game. That could help if the board game comes into play, but rebounds aren't there if if Virginia Tech's not missing any shots, and they are almost 50% from the 3-point line so far this season. It's absolutely unreal. I'm with you. I think the Hokies, Old Dominion got the Hokies in football this year. I think the Hokies get us back in college basketball in the Shriner Classic. So that game is going to be at 2:00. That's the second game on the slate in the Shriners Children's Charleston Classic. That should be a good one as well.